well as outside Ahmadiyya. If they come to know that you are an Ahmadi, in some mosques, you will be thoroughly beaten, that I assure you. And turned out in total disgrace. Unless you say, I am not an Ahmadi. So you are then running a very great risk.
Do I have to say to them whether I'm an Ahmadi?
Of course you have to. If you know the truth and you don't spread it, then it is only a partial truth. It is not a total truth with you at all.
So what you are...
Why have you not to follow Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, or have you? Or you don't think it's necessary? He declared his faith despite the fact that it annoyed everyone else around him and created such hostility that they killed his followers, they maltreated him, they exercised all sorts of atrocities against the Muslims, and yet he would not stop. He was rejected at one place, he went out. Why was he forced to go out to Taif when he was rejected by Meccans? And then so thoroughly beaten that the blood was flowing from every pore of his body when he returned from there. And you still call yourself a follower of Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and want to reconcile yourself with darkness and say, no, I don't have to declare myself. Unless you declare yourself, how would Ahmadiyyat spread? How would the message of Muslim Islam get around? And how will Islam become victorious in the end? You know, their concept of Islam is distorted. You don't realize this. Totally distorted. They become intolerant. They attribute things to Islam which cannot flourish in this world. They cannot survive. And this is why Islam is being, looked down upon by the whole entire outside world. And they're laughing at Islam because these are the mullahs who are responsible for this distortion in Islam. You consider their views, ask his view about what angels are, how God is, what are the qualities of Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, then in each answer you will find the difference between Ahmadiyyat and this Mullahism. So you're supporting that Islam which is not in fact capable of survival in this world. And the only Islam which can survive, you're withholding your support from that by hiding yourself out of some fears or out of something I don't know. So, any other question, please? Yes. From ladies' side first.
Huzur, this is a question from the ladies' side. One lady wants this point to be clarified, that the order of the verses in the Holy Quran as they were revealed and the order in which they are to be found today is different. What is the hikmat and philosophy in it?
Yes, that I'll explain, but first of all tell me, why have you withdrawn the privilege from the ladies to speak directly on microphone and convey their questions to us in their own voices? Fun? But something must have happened because they are left without an opportunity to speak when they please, and it's an hindrance in the way. So they are not encouraged to write and send letters. They find it difficult. But while the microphone was there, they could go any time to the microphone. In fact, when I met a representative body of the ladies, I asked them why they have ceased asking questions and ceased participating in this. They said because that opportunity has been withdrawn, that facility has been withdrawn from us. Is it very difficult, is it? No problem, I hope.
I don't know the reason why it was taken away.
Nobody seems to know. Yes. So, now your question, please. Now the lady's question. I will come to that, yes. The lady has asked that why the order of revelation of the Holy Quran was different from the order of the verses in which they are arranged now, or were arranged at the time of Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam at his bidding. and we find it in the same order now. Not only the verses, but also the surahs have been changed. Most of the surahs which were revealed in Mecca were the earliest surahs, of course. They have been put at the end, in the last para. And most of the surahs which were revealed later on during the Medina stay, they have been brought forward, and you begin with those, except for Surah Fatiha, which was revealed early at Mecca. But Surah Baqarah is a Madani surah which was revealed after Hijrah. So all this apparent disorder is in fact based on some fundamental principle. The principle which is laid down by the Holy Quran, and it speaks of it itself, not that I am putting words in the mouth of the Holy Quran, is that whenever an emergency arises or a situation demands some declaration, right at that time the relevant verse is revealed. So an order is demanded by the things what are happening at the time of Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For instance, when Hazrat sallallahu alaihi wasallam was told to give the message of the Quran, of Islam to everybody, the immediate society around him was the society of idolaters. Now, if he had started talking, or Allah had started revealing things concerning the Christians and the Jews and the other religions, it would be apparently irrelevant to the situation. He is declaring a great message from Allah, delivering a great message from Allah, and the society says, you are talking of something which you don't understand. It does not apply to us. So what would be the right way to do things? Would be first to deliver a message declaring the unity of God and giving arguments against idolatry and pointing out its evils in this world and in the life to come and so on. So this is exactly what we find in the first surahs which were revealed. Now when Hazrat Akram Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam went to Mecca, that was a time when Jews and Christians were appropriately addressed because they were found in that vicinity. And this order is exactly according to the demand of the situation. Now, but really speaking, what is much more important is Judaism and Christianity as compared to idolatry, which has no basis. So when order of preference would come from the point of view of subject and the lasting value, then those religions should be mentioned first, which have a lasting value and which have a sort of permanency about them, and which have their validity established, and which draw their inspiration from Allah, who is the source of all light. So that should have been the order as far as the preference subject-wise is concerned. So this is why the Holy Quran adopted that preference for all the people to come. I mean, that is one way, but there are so many other factors which have played their part in the order of verses, and it is a strange thing, and this is a miracle of the Holy Quran, that as far as the events of the world which were to take place later on, and the events of the world which took place earlier, as far as that goes, the Holy Quran keeps that order of time. Now, and it does not contradict with previous two orders. For instance, when you recite the Holy Quran, to begin with Alif Lam Mim Zalikal Kitabu La Raiba Fihi, it speaks of Allah and then the prophecy and how it all began, that is the religion took shape on earth. And then the first mention is found of Adam, who was the first. And then religions are declared almost in their order of of coming and their importance.